Hey, happy Monday, guys. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Not only was the weather amazing here in Northern California this past weekend, but, for me and my family, it was just one of those weekends where it was quiet, peaceful, no visits to the ER, no broken legs. And, I told my wife this morning when I woke up, I said, I'll take any of those weekends, any time of the week, and twice on Sunday. I'm not saying my life is perfect. It's far from that, that's for sure. But, it was one of those weekends where you can just really sit down and reflect, on life. And for myself, I've really been reflecting, over just how much, the final expense telesales business collectively has come over the years. Some of us witnessed the birth of the actual final expense telesales concept years ago, as well as some of us also witnessing groups that are doing over $1 million a month in ALP, with less than 100 people in their call centers exclusively over the telephones. And it's amazing to me because doing $1 million a month in the field, nowadays in 2016, there's several organizations that do that every single month. But to do it over the telephone was always the big question mark. Could it be done? I was formally introduced to final expense telesales by Senior Life Insurance Company in 2011 in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. And I gotta say that when I saw what they offered with their final expense telesales platform, I saw the huge potential that existed by selling it over the phone, especially as the future came upon us. But the crazy thing is that it took me close to 3 years to fully transition from knocking on doors to the telephones 100% from that day in Atlanta. I'll be the first one to tell you that it was really hard for me to make that transition at first. One, I came from a bilingual final expense field background in which my world was basically traveling every day, 200 to 300 miles a day. Not to mention knocking on doors on a daily basis to make it happen, to make those applications count every week. Sundays, were spent making appointments for Mondays. So, we did really, really good in the field, not just as a personal producer, but also to become the #1 regional manager in total agency sales for the year within $1 billion final expense life insurance company. So I'm sure you can understand that when I first got on the telephones with Senior Life, I had many conflicting beliefs, that I battled at times, especially if I didn't close the sale on the telephone. And what I noticed is after time went by and I adjusted certain thoughts that I had, I improved my skill set on the phones, we started making more and more sales. And all of a sudden, these beliefs that I battled with, they started to slowly disappear. Beliefs like people won't give you their banking information over the phone. People won't give you their account information over the phone. People won't give you their social security number over the phone. And a variety of other things that just raced through my head. They slowly started to disappear like a distant memory as I made more and more personal sales on the telephone. And, I learned early on in my final expense career that, the best sales managers were the ones that led their groups from the front. And, and they do that by closing personal deals alongside their team on a daily basis. And Senior Life truly believes in that leadership style as I do. And I believe more in that leadership style now today that I'm on the phones than I did 12 years ago when I was out there knocking on doors. And in the process, it has allowed us to slowly continue to grow our telesales divisions. And the best part about it is I personally have become a top a personal producer on the telephones in the process. Final expense telesales, guys, is the way of the future. Not to mention that technology is becoming more and more advanced every day. Who can argue that? 10 years ago, who can argue or compare the technology that we had 10 years ago to today? It's not even fair to compare. But, we really want to help the right person or organization who wants to change over to the telephones just like we did years ago. And, but you need that training, you need that guidance, and we'd be more than happy to, provide that, because final expense telesales is just an amazing vehicle to get the job done. And with the huge demand that exists in the final expense industry right now, my goal for my call center here in Northern California is to hire 30 full-time final expense employee agents to work out of here. And our goal is to do that within the next 12 to 24 months on a salary basis alone. And we're doing this just to keep up with the demand that exists currently. Because the time is now. If you're going to get into the final expense business, it's today. If you're an independent field agent and, you would like to see how it is that we approach final expense on the telephones, once again, we'd be more than happy to show you. But I will tell you this. I will tell you that if you currently pick up the phone to make field appointments for the week, then you can also currently close those deals right over the telephone. We can show you.